Hello and thank you for joining me today. My name is Sean DeMint with Photo Solutions, and today we're going to be going over the new Next limited edition template series from Photo Solutions. And today we'll be reviewing the new IRMO design set. And you can find this on photosolutionsmarket.com. And this collection, you can buy it as a full set, or you can buy just the individual pieces that I'll be showing you here. So, and then at the end of this video, we'll also go through how to use the collection as well. Now, all of the collection's functionality are all the same, so when we get to the actual demo, you will be able to use those same techniques on all of the different designs, layouts. So in this set, you're going to get a couple of different things, and this is what's new about Next, is that it's not just one or two layouts, it's an entire collection of layouts so that you have pretty much everything that you need for any type of project using that design, because the theme runs through the whole thing. So you're going to have, for example, the memory mate, and you'll notice that they have these guides here, and I do want to point this out before we go any farther, that the way that these are designed, the Next series is designed, is so that when you go to print, as long as you keep things within this guideline, you can print it as a 2:3 ratio, so you can print it as a 20 by 30 or bigger, all the way up to a 4 foot by 6 foot banner if you want, and that goes for all of the 2:3 ratios. But if you keep everything within these two guides, you can also print an 8 by 10 and it'll cut off right at the guidelines. So that is your 8 by 10 crop. So it gives you the ability to print a poster, but it also gives you the ability to print an 8 by 10 without having to shift things around and make a new design. So another one that comes with this is also the team. So we have this set up a little bit different layout with the text and things, comes with the team layout. Now we also have the panoramic memory mate, has the individual and the team on it, different layout, same theme. We also have the team panoramic. Then we have our vertical, and with the vertical you're going to notice that you've got two crop lines, and that is the same thing. So this is an 8 by 10 crop in the middle, and then you also have your 5 by 7 crop lines here. So you can know when you're designing this, before you save it out, if you're going to be doing a 2:3 ratio print or banner. You can go all the way to the edges. If you know you're doing a 5 by 7 ratio, you can just go to this guide. If you're doing a 4:5 ratio, which would be like an 8 by 10 or larger in that same ratio, 8 by 10, 11 by 14, 16 by 20, and on, that's going to be this line. So you can make one design, and it can work for any print size without having to adjust anything, just as long as you keep things within those guides. Then our last individual is our new vertical memory mate. So you have your player at the top, team at the bottom, and the name and everything. So then we have our last one. Actually, the last one is going to be our demo. So I'll go ahead and close these out so we can actually have some space to work here. Alright, so when you get the templates, obviously they're not going to have the players in them because those images are property of the person who had shot those images, but you're going to have the silhouetted areas of where those players and teams go. This is so that you can know where to drop yours in, and we're going to be doing that here in a second. So we've got our sample group here that we've already assembled, and these are all individually placed, and I'm going to show you how this all works here in just a second. And we're going to pretty much transfer this over. Now, the nice thing about the new IRMO design is that it is a grass field, so that means it really can work with pretty much everything. It can work with football, it can work with soccer, lacrosse, baseball, softball, anything that has grass involved, you're going to be able to use the IRMO design series with. So that's really versatile when it comes to this set. So let's go ahead and get this started, and the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and click on, I've got auto select turned on, and we're just going to click on the team layer. You can see it also find it over in the layers area. It's red. We're just going to go ahead and delete. And before we click on anything else, we're going to grab our team and we're going to go ahead and bring them in and put them where we want them to go. I'm just doing a free transform while they're all still highlighted. And put them right where we want them. So I think that's good right there. And before we go ahead, I'm going to show you in a minute how to do the shadows on here. But we'll go ahead and replace the player as well. So we've selected the players layer. We'll delete that. Go ahead and grab our individual. Now, of course, if you were bringing this in from the actual file, it would be bigger. But for speed here, I'm just going to do it this way. Go ahead and place our player where he needs to go. And again, you notice I'm keeping everything within those guides so that we can put this as an 8x10. So now we're going to go ahead and customize this over to the team colors. This is real easy. All we have to do is come down to the color smoke, double click on our color overlay. That's going to bring up our color picker. If you know the team's color code, I would recommend putting that color code in. For quickness here, I'm just going to guess on the color, but I would definitely not guess if you know the team's color code. So go ahead and do that. And we have a couple more colors. We'll go ahead and change the name. We have a stroke and an inner shadow on this. So what we're going to do is go ahead and click on stroke. And you can see the stroke is white. Inner shadow is black. So we're good on that. We don't have to worry about changing any of those. But you do notice that we have the text character color up here. And we're going to go ahead and change that to our blue color as well. Now down here on the last name, we have the same thing, a stroke and an inner shadow. Go ahead and go to stroke. We see that it's white. Inner shadow is yellow. We're going to go ahead and change that to our blue. And you can also change the size of this if you want more depth of the glow, that kind of thing. All right, so now we're just going to go ahead and change our wording. There's a couple ways you can do this. One, you can just highlight the text, or you can come over here and double click on the text icon, and that will go ahead and highlight it. So this is the last name, Holmes. We're just going to call it Harris, and we'll apply that. And you notice we went over our guides. Now if we were printing the full thing, I wouldn't worry about it. Otherwise, you can just do a free transform on that and just bring it in so that it fits within those guides. So if you print an 8x10, we're good. Now with James, I'm just going to go ahead and highlight James, and we'll just call him Derek. And on IRMO, we'll go ahead, and these guys are the Bucks, so we'll go ahead and put Bucks here. And you can see we went over the edge a little bit again, so I'm just going to free transform it, bring it in a little bit. And All-Star Baseball, obviously this is going to be First Coast Football. Now the one thing you will notice is that there is a difference in the text width here, and that is right up here. That is the distance between each letter, and you can change that. It's set at 750, but if you want it to be a little bit closer, maybe you have a longer name there that's going to go there, just play with it. I'm going to take it down to 500, and you can see it shrinks it down a little bit. And if we want to, we can also free transform that as well, make it look a little nicer. And if you need to change the year, let's say it's 2019. There we go. Now, the only thing that's left with this is our players do look like they're floating a little bit. So what we're going to do is go ahead and select our players one at a time by holding down the Shift key and clicking on each player, or you can go over to the layers and grab them all together. And then we're just going to duplicate that. So I'm just going to go to Control J. That's going to make a copy. And we're going to drag those below the last player. And then what we're going to do is double click on our first one, do a color overlay of black, Hit OK. We're going to go ahead and copy that layer style. Select all of those copies. Paste that layer style. And then we're going to go ahead and rasterize that layer style. So pretty much what that did, and I'll turn one off, is you'll see it just made a silhouette. So at this point what we can do is take them one at a time. So that's going to be our first one. We're going to do a Control-T, free transform, grab it from the top, just drag it down to the bottom, and we're going to go ahead and apply that. Go to the next one. Same thing. And of course you can get a lot more technical with this. I'm going to do this just for speed. Give you the idea of what we're going to be actually doing here. Well, pretty much all we're doing is just bringing the shadows down. If you want a longer shadow, all you have to do is just make it go a little bit farther. We're just bringing those shadows down. Just like that. Alright, now the only thing we have to do left is to blur these a little bit. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and select them all. I'm going to merge them into one layer. Then I'm just going to go up to my filters, blur, and do a field blur. If you don't have field blur, you can do Gaussian blur, that kind of thing. And pretty much we're just going to blur this until we like how it looks. Hit OK. Let it do its thing. And now we're just going to lower the opacity of it until it looks just about right. There we go. So that is pretty much how you use the new IRMO series. And again, this is available at photosolutionsmarket.com as a full set for $1.99, or you can get all of the individual sets for individual templates for $50 a piece. If you are part of the Edge program or have not heard of the Edge program yet, that will give you 60% off of all of your purchases at Photo Solutions, and it is part of the subscription model over at psueducation.com, where we have a lot of other training videos and things on youth sports photography and all sorts of other topics. So make sure you check that out over at psueducation.com, and also make sure that you check out when our next workshop is for PSU Live, the PSU Live workshop, the next one coming up. Go check that out at psuliveworkshop.com. And again, thank you for being here today with me, and hopefully you will find that the IRMO series will definitely help you out for any of the sports that play on a grass turf. Again, my name is Sean DeMint. You can always reach me at 904-348-0123 or at photosolutionsmarket.com.